good? We good?
Yeah, we live.
How you feeling?
We
You all right?
We recording, so we straight.
It's starting to hit.
All right. it's starting to hit.
Better get this little 30-minute high.
You'll be all right, bro.
Telling you.
We're not gonna work you
It's been the
overtime.
hardest
tonight.
crash of my life.
We're not gonna work you overtime tonight. I promise. We're gonna keep it light tonight.
Got 10 minutes? Cool.
10 minutes.
Two frappuccinos turned him into a crackhead.
Crackhead.
Over here scratching and everything, but you gotta get up and stretch.
He's gonna be like Pookie by the end of the podcast.
All right, here we go, fellas. I think we're recording. So what's going on, everybody? This is Julius from Earth with the From Earth podcast, episode 73.
Yes, sir.
We're back in the building. We're here with the homie Esoteric
Was good.
and with the homie B Davis.
Shannon.
And before we get too far in, I just want to let everybody know, all the listeners, all the viewers, there will not be a podcast episode next week. I literally just decided it right now. So you're hearing it.
On the fly.
You're hearing it the same as these two dudes is hearing it.
Yeah. Do we still get paid for next week or what?
Yeah. No, it's gonna be what we call that. It's per diem. So if you don't show up,
Right, exactly.
yeah, you don't get paid.
So it's terrible, man.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about these working conditions.
Hey, listen,
So I
man,
filled out my 1099 and put the From Earth
you better hit
podcast.
your manager up.
And then I was waiting for my forms.
You
Where they
better
at?
call your
Where they
manager, your accountant, somebody.
Hey,
but
yo, Rob, remember when I was talking about knowing what your worth is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo,
We
y'all's-
gotta start exploring that.
y'all's
we
worth
do.
y'all's worth is null and void over here.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, no, it's important, but you know.
Holding a black man down. That's cool.
Just like the others.
What'd you say? Just like who?
Yeah, man.
What we talking about tonight, y'all?
What we getting into?
Got 19 minutes. You better hurry up.
Yeah, right. Yo, it's I guess New Jersey finally legalized marijuana and sales of open up
It's
dispensaries
about damn time.
Retail sales without medical.
without a medical card, right?
About time.
It's here.
Yeah.
It's here, yo.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Right?
I don't want to see y'all standing in no long lines.
Oh no. Oh no.
B said I don't stand in lines.
No, absolutely
You
not.
already had yours on pre-order.
Listen, when's that coming to DoorDash?
Facts.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, can I Instacart that or
You want Instacart? You want to add it? You want to add it to your cart,
Somebody has to deliver that.
to your queue?
Somebody that's a business opportunity.
Is Racketing going to do cash back on that?
Cashback. What's the joint where they got the 4 payments?
Yeah, man.
Afterpay?
Yeah, they got Afterpay on that. They got Afterpay on that. But all jokes aside, though, it is about time.
Yeah.
It is about time. Finally, starting to really work towards this whole decriminalization of this nonsense, man.
Yeah. Now, have they officially decriminalized it, or are they just saying y'all can sell it and we not doing nothing about it?
So it's legal. All right, this is what I know, right? It's legal for people over 21 who walk into a dispensary, same as alcohol, right?
Yeah.
You can be, you can ride in your car with it. Your car can smell like a whole pound if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And the police can no longer use that excuse,
Good to know.
Your car smells like weed,
Yeah.
Well, at least they'll probably still try to pull it off.
Absolutely.
Who knows?
Right.
But all that being said, I would still say that anybody who does partake, please partake responsibly. I'm curious though how it's going to look for, like, are these dispensaries really going to take off here in Jersey?
Yeah.
The black market, I would imagine, still stays relevant.
I mean, it depends what the price is. Like, I haven't been in one, right? So I couldn't tell you what the price is like. But I think that's going to be the major contributing factor, right?
Well, absolutely.
Like, if there's a wild markup.
I mean, it's taxed. It's taxed. So obviously the price is going to be higher.
Which black market are you talking about?
I'm talking
Like
about how
the black
I'm
market
talking
or
about how
black
people
market?
have been procuring it.
Oh, okay.
You feel me?
I'm talking about the streets, bro.
about the
Like,
streets.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Putting them out there like that, bro?
Yeah,
That's
no,
what we're
I'm
doing?
just talking about how people have been procuring it before this time.
like my man that was right on the other side of this building. You know what I mean? When I came in, like, that dude, what is he charging right now?
Yeah. I'm just curious,
Entrepreneurial.
Facts.
And then I wonder if the black market, quote unquote, starts to change to kind of like keep up with the times too.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's going to be interesting.
Right.
And we got to start giving this stuff nicknames, man. You know, you can't be like, oh, I'm just going to the dispensary.
Right.
You got to give it a nickname. I'm going to call it the grocery store.
Call it the 5 spot.
B said, what you calling it, B?
Yo, like, but here's my question though. Are we gonna start seeing more like arrests from like the street dealers and whatnot? You know what I'm saying?
Probably
like,
not.
Like, is the state gonna crack down on that stuff because they selling a competing product?
But I mean,
Go ahead.
I guess we'd look at where they purchased it at that point. You know, who's it being supplied from?
I mean, how you tracking it? Like,
I mean, you're not going down. You're not going down to figure out who's selling this stuff on the streets, kind of thing. Nobody cares about that at this point because now you don't even have to do that.
Yeah. But I mean, they just busted that shop last week. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, nah, but that
They was doing too much.
they was
Yeah.
moving flawed, though, man. They was in a storefront with like, they were in the storefront in Jersey. So anybody who doesn't know, I think this was like Burlington County, like the Mount Lumberton area or whatever. I guess these people had a storefront where they were selling all kinds of drugs out of the storefront before the April 21st date of here in Jersey, and there was like 8 people, man. And they had like this crazy suit, like
Said the man was in the bulletproof vest.
the
at the
bulletproof
door.
vest, the bouncer, the security and everything.
Yeah, take your phone, take your ID, and walk you to the back.
So that's what you can't do, right? Like you can't set up illegal shops.
But see, that's crazy because the spots that I know of, that's how they all operate.
That's how they get down?
They all got somebody right there at the door. They're gonna frisk you down. They're gonna take what they're gonna take, and then they're gonna walk you back to to make your purchase, and then get out.
I mean, but that's bold. That's bold to have like a storefront though, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's not even like it's like a convenience store that's in the back they really got something going on.
Right, yeah,
Like bro, this is like the counter.
This is just what you do. Yeah, this is just what you do.
Like they wasn't even trying to hide it, so you can't be mad at that. And I'll say this to anybody else: if you're looking to become a vendor or anything like that, like go through the process, go through the steps.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go ahead. What you got?
I'm thinking I'd be curious to wonder if it's going to be still a controllable, sellable amount. It's like because now it's an OTC,
Right.
so you're not just going to be able to buy like whatever quantity you want. It's got to be
Right.
Yeah.
capped. So,
Like,
what's
can I just have like 20 pounds in the back of the wheel?
yeah, what I'm saying, like what's the
Just
legal
driving
cap? for that?
around like chilling.
I don't know how much alcohol can you buy at one time.
As much as I want.
I mean, good point, but
You know what I mean?
it's-
Like you can go into
It's like cigs,
You
you
can
know
go
what
into
I'm
a
saying?
liquor store right now and buy $800 worth of alcohol. So
Yeah.
like, are we treating it the same? That's what I'm curious.
well, I mean, no, I wouldn't think it would because for the fact that marijuana was based on medicinal levels, which was at some point prescribed.
Let me tell you something about that.
Nobody's prescribing.
let me tell you something about that, bro. Like that was the test trial run
Facts.
to see how
Listen.
if they can control it,
Exactly,
how they
bro.
could really get it off.
But even if they even
Yeah, I
still
mean,
though, I mean, it was still to the
Listen,
point
what was
of
they putting in? They was putting alcohol in children's medication back in the day. You know what I mean? Seeing,
Oh yeah.
that's why NyQuil tastes like Jägermeister.
I mean, cocaine and stuff and everything. Like, come on, man. Like, it's
Wait, which files you got?
that's the test
Hold on.
trial run.
Yeah, bro.
That was all that was, man. Like, if you gonna treat if you gonna open it up, you gotta open it up how like you did alcohol. In my personal opinion.
Hey, we'll see.
Just for weed though, or are we gonna do the other drugs? Shit, like cocaine, heroin.
To be honest, I don't know. I mean, I guess this is a win for marijuana, right? THC, all that stuff. This is a win for that. I don't know if this gonna open the floodgates for the other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think you can do it with heroin.
I don't have an opinion on it. I mean, I do have an opinion on it, but I think that I probably need to formulate it a little bit more before I really put it together. My initial response is I'm cool on that.
Yeah.
That's my initial response because it all kind of like inhibits your ability to do different functions. I don't want anybody drinking and driving. I don't want anybody smoking and driving. I definitely don't want anybody shooting up heroin or popping X or snorting cocaine.
Yeah.
And operating any type of motor vehicle and putting other people at risk. But that's always been the argument, right?
Right.
That's always been the argument. So I don't have a fully formulated stand on the other stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as this topic, yeah, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, I feel like the fiends wouldn't stand for like heroin that's crazy stepped on that's sold by the state.
Nah, for real, they going for
You know
they
what
going
I'm
for the
saying?
stuff that
Like-
could kill them at any time.
Yeah, like I feel like
don't think-
State stepped
I don't
on.
think they-
like I feel like Kensington's still gonna be Kensington. You know what I'm saying?
K&A still gonna do it.
Zombie Nation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like for something like that, like they still gonna go get what what they gotta go get. I don't think the watered down stuff is what they're looking for.
You might have a point there.
Yeah, I just,
You may have a point.
Shout out to Kingston.
shout out to Kensington, bro. Like
Shout out to the L.
the Walking Dead over there, bro.
All right, so that's where we're at. Yeah, like I said, to anybody who does partake or whatever, obviously this is one of those things where operate in moderation. If you have an addictive personality, that does not mean you are an addict. It means that you have one of those personalities where you enjoy something so much, you just have to continue to consume in overwhelming quantities.
Yeah.
I would highly suggest maybe trying to get that situated first.
Like this podcast, we don't get paid for.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because that's another conversation for another time as far as addictive personalities, right? I've talked at nauseum with you a bit about it, because I really feel strongly about it. But I don't know if this is the time where, you know what I mean? Like this ain't it. We talking about how did I become the champion of legal marijuana sales?
I really don't know.
When did that happen? I don't know when that happened.
Started with cigars again.
Yeah, I don't know when that
You
happened.
trying to get me to do edibles with you.
Relax.
He's like, bro,
I definitely would never.
Give me that look.
I definitely would never be a proponent of edibles.
You know what? Even though it's legal, bro, I don't think I'm rushing out to partake.
No.
I don't think so.
So you mean just like overall, or like going to the dispensaries and everything like that?
Just in
just
general.
to try it out.
Yeah, just in general. I think I'm chilling right now.
knowing you're probably more likely to grow your own than you would be to go out and buy it.
I gotta be honest.
He
man.
can't. Wait, he can neither confirm nor deny that with the live mic and a video recorder.
He says he's gardening.
I was about to say it's springtime. I spent like 4 hours out in the yard already this weekend.
Those
bro.
are some odd looking hydrangeas over there.
You know what I mean? My daffodils will be lovely. You know what
Wow,
I'm
this
saying?
is some-
So you never know what I might accidentally plant
Those are
out.
some really unique roses.
Facts, bro.
So
Facts,
I
man.
don't know, bro. I don't know. What you think, yo?
Oh, what?
Anything? Where's your mind at? Where's your head at?
It's counting down this minutes of this coffee right now.
All right.
And we're on 13, so let's go.
See, you could have just smoked some weed, bro, but nah, you came in here with 6 frappuccinos.
Nah,
Yeah.
because that'd be the Robbie ringtones.
Yo,
Yeah, talk about this man ringtone,
right, yeah, we
bro.
gotta talk-
Talk about this man. Talk about the fact that he's a grown man with a ringtone.
a grown man with a ringtone,
Number
bro.
one.
First of all,
and it wasn't even like a 50 Cent in the club.
Nah.
You know what I mean? Chris Brown,
Nah.
Soulja Boy Kiss Me Through the Phone. This nigga got sensual love music as his ringtone.
Central.
Sensual. Came with oils and shit.
Came with oils.
It actually did.
His phone making love in his,
His
pocket.
phone started leaking.
Coconut oil is 100% virgin. It was
Yo,
beautiful.
man,
It was lovely.
shit
I can't remember. I
ridiculous,
can't
bro.
remember the last time I had my phone volume turned up,
Facts,
especially the ringer.
Facts. That shit is accidental.
Yeah, for real.
Like if my phone start ringing, I'm like, yo, who's messing with my phone?
Because certain people have
You know
certain
what I'm saying?
ringtones.
Like,
So if,
how did this
if it
happen?
doesn't ring at those, I know not to pick them up. Or it's just more expendable at that point. If it's something else, all right, it's just like, all right, I know who it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Ain't
You'll
that
have
what-
one too.
Ain't that what like caller ID is for?
Yo,
Like-
don't you got an Apple Watch?
Like certain people have different
I get a
names.
new one.
That's all I need. The name.
Yo, for real.
You know what I mean? Hey, yo, you ever look at your phone when somebody call you and just be like, why?
Why? Why'd you calling me?
Like, you know
All
what I'm
the
saying?
time.
Like, you just look at it like, what
I
are
know.
you doing?
I look at my phone like that in general. Like, why are you calling? Like, send me
Yeah.
a text, please. All right. There's so many reasons why not to call.
I have a lot of clients calling me too. so-
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Like, what is it that needs my attention right now that I need to answer this phone and actually have a conversation with you about?
But you want to know what's worse? You want to know what's worse than the actual phone call is the video call, the FaceTime.
The random FaceTime?
Bro, the unsolicited, like you didn't text me first to see if I was available.
No.
Shout out to my kids who use that instead of just calling me. I'm like,
I feel
bruh.
like kids get a pass, though.
Do they?
I think they should.
Yeah, I agree. I agree to an
I
extent.
mean,
right?
as someone that doesn't have kids, right? I can say that, but like,
Like,
You know
I'm
what I'm
not
saying?
trying to FaceTime at 12 o'clock at night.
bro. Kids don't
But
care.
it's your kids.
I get it. They could call me.
You know what I'm saying?
But nah, we talking
They can
about
call.
we talking about
It's not even serious. Look, they'll FaceTime be like, Dad, the Wi-Fi is turned off or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm
something
just
weird, right?
What? What even, bro?
Nah,
what?
you know who does that? My mom FaceTimes me because I got her iPad a little while back because she still cannot figure out the iPhone. I love her, but she cannot figure out the iPhone. So I got her an iPad. It's a little bit larger, and she will
Bigger
not.
iPhone.
Yeah, no, because she can't. Like, here's the thing about it, right? When there's too many features
Yeah.
for this thing that she uses every single day, it gets confusing. for her.
Yeah.
Right, but the iPad, she's gonna play a game, and she can see the big FaceTime right there. Those two things that she needs. That was all she needed it for. That was all she wanted it for. But she does the whole, just like the FaceTime at the random times. If I see it back to back or whatever, I'm like, yo, everything all right? Like, you good? Oh yeah, I was just calling to tell you. All right, listen, that could have been a text message. I love you, but please don't FaceTime me like this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, this is just, I don't want to be on the phone as is.
Yeah.
I think FaceTime should be scheduled. It needs to be a scheduled process.
Is that a feature? As a matter of fact, I never even looked into it. Is it a feature you can set on a timer? Like, you can only FaceTime between these times?
I'm
Because
just saying, proper respect,
I
you
never
know?
thought about it. Like, if I just set it to where, like, I can only get FaceTimes between 7 and 9 p.m.,
Listen,
I ain't got to worry about it, right?
facts. Well, do not disturb.
I'm doing all this complaining, and I could probably situate that on my own.
See, FaceTime forces, to me anyway, right? FaceTime forces you to like pay attention to the phone.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that in a negative way, but like I'm a chronic multitasker. You see what I'm saying? So I'm always doing 2-3 things at one time, right? So like, I might be reading news or looking up something or trying to study something or whatever. Somebody call me, I can still be, have my AirPods in and talk on the phone, but then be using my phone to do something else at the same time.
Right.
If I got a FaceTime, like now you can see I'm not visually engaging you in the conversation.
Yeah, there is no
this, you know what I'm saying?
speakerphone
Or
on
this,
FaceTime.
like this, where I got to sit here and I got to hold my
Yeah,
phone
I gotta
up.
hold this phone up,
You know what I
bro,
mean? Like I can't. I'm not one of those like get the little stand and set the
Yeah, I'm
stand
not
up
doing
and
all that.
nah.
I'm definitely not doing all that.
I'm not doing that. You
Yeah.
know? Just send me a text.
Yeah, nah. If I answer a FaceTime, like, feel special.
What y'all think that's about though? Like the unsolicited FaceTime calls.
Depends on who it's coming from.
You know what I'm
Facts.
talking about. Well, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
When it comes and you're like,
I put them right the voice minutes.
when that call comes in, you like,
call
come on,
comes in.
fam. Like, you really need to know where I'm at right now, huh?
Yep.
Because that's the only reason you FaceTime me.
I had to
You
block y'all.
want to see my background, huh?
Hey, yo, listen, I'd have picked up, but I just got shot. You know what I mean? Call me back in a week.
Call me back in a week.
You know what I'm saying? Things is crazy right now. I don't know, but yeah, you know what that's about. Bro.
Yeah, bro. Like,
what I'm saying?
yeah, y'all not low. Y'all not low.
Definitely
All you guilty parties out here that be
know exactly what we're talking
sending them FaceTimes. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
They get
doing that.
mad listening right
Yeah,
now.
stop doing that.
Yeah, they
You
know
know what?
exactly
You know
what
why
we're
you do it, and you know we all hate it too. Mm-hmm. All right, so knock it off.
Facts.
Signed B. Davis Project.
Wow.
Oh, they got a FaceTime coming in right now.
I'm in there too.
I'll take it.
I'm a
I'll take
co-signer.
it.
I'm a co-signer.
I'll take it.
That's his bill. I'm just, you know what I mean.
Yeah, man. Knock it off. On the way.
Well, we had DJ K Slay pass, right?
Yes.
R.I.P. DJ K Slay.
Yeah, man.
One of the hip hop pioneers,
Absolutely.
originators, and all that. Passed from I think a bout of COVID, right?
He was sick with COVID a few months ago.
Okay.
And then I did read that he was in the hospital and he was having continuous complications.
Yeah, complications.
So I'm thinking it must have been the complications or
Yeah.
something that got him.
Yeah, so just want to say that, put that out there. So what you got for us? What you
Nah,
see
I didn't
over
realize
there?
how young he was. Actually, he's only 55.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
man.
Yeah, that's the end of an era,
Absolutely.
end of a sound, the end of a voice that was important in that locale. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like being able, turn on the radio or whatever, or getting the mixtape and hearing K Slay. Like
The mixtape era was,
that was a situation.
ooh, man.
Yeah.
And DJ K Slay was right in the middle of it, man. At the height of it. At the
Yeah.
height of that mixtape era, he was in it.
Absolutely, yo.
Relevant, everything.
Yeah.
Who you think the top three were for mixtapes back in the day?
Slay.
Clue.
I was about to say definitely Clue and K Slay.
Yeah, and then
Flex, maybe?
Yeah, Flex
Yeah.
probably. Drama came in real crazy with it.
Drama definitely came in crazy. The Gangsta Grills.
Yeah, the Gangsta Grills. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it was a lot of DJs, and then we're talking about a specific
As
time
far
period.
as, DJ mixtapes.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
DJ mixtapes. That's
far
what
as
we're talking
DJ
about.
mixtapes, yeah,
they're
absolutely.
they're probably like, you got them up there like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
No, that's when it was putting in that work.
absolutely, bro. You got one of the mixtapes. You heard the bombs. You heard the taglines. You already knew it was going to be crazy.
Everything off them joints. But yeah, that's too bad, man. That's a definite RIP situation.
Yeah. So, but that got me thinking, right? That the passing of DJ K Slay got me thinking about like organ donorship. I know it's random, but this is how my brain processes things, and I'm curious as to whether either of you guys are actual organ donors or not, and if you have it as a designation on your identification.
I do.
I do not.
Okay, I do as well, and I absolutely am. But so I know that this was like a conversation that was going through social media world like 72 hours ago, but. But it had me thinking because I saw somebody was saying how you shouldn't have organ donor on your ID as it can be one of those potential life altering type of factors, or emergency medical services or doctors or whatever can see that and may think that the organs are more important than your actual life. I don't know. I don't know how true all of that stuff is.
Well, it
But-
can't be that true because the doctor's life is to save yours first.
I did say that, right? So my thought process was like, I don't know how factual based all it is. I just thought it was a good conversation piece.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist, right?
Okay.
So that is pretty much how I feel about it.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Like I look at the medical treatment that African Americans receive in general, right? And
Or
if
lack thereof, for that matter.
Exactly. That's my point, right? So you have that, and then organ donor at the same time. Like, how do I know something happens to me? And they're like, well, hey, we could use an eye or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got some nice ears on.
Got some nice
Like,
ears.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but
so the other part of it too is they were saying how like you have a very limited window of certain organs.
Right.
Yeah.
If somebody's an actual donor, right?
Right,
So if
right,
they're,
right.
whatever the situation is, they're in an emergent situation, but they're a heart donor,
Right.
Or they're whatever, another organ that cannot stay without all the blood flowing and pumping whatever for a certain period of time.
right,
Where does that fall? Where does that land you?
right.
So I don't know. I'm curious. I was just curious as to.
I mean, it's one of those, you think like we've all seen the movie John Q, and it's like, what if it's somebody you love and you just need something?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like me putting myself in that position. It's like, if I know I can, why would I not? Because I know I would expect the same thing.
Because what if you wasn't ready to go, bro?
Well, that's true too, but I mean,
You know
but
what I'm
if, that's what I'm saying.
saying?
Like,
Like,
the
what
purpose is to save the life first.
Yeah, what if they had shot you just one more time and you'd have came back on them? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Like the crow.
Yeah, you'd have came back and been ready. Like, listen, man.
Man.
Jesus had 3 days.
I don't need a heart to come back.
Yo, did you hear what he just said? Jesus had 3 days.
Yeah, bro.
Jesus.
At least afford me that.
All right, so then that spins me to this. Then I think we may have talked about this before, but I'll ask it again. Do either of you guys have a do not resuscitate order?
Nah.
DNR, I don't think I do. No.
Is that something that you are interested? I'm not asking because I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go do it for you. But I'm just saying, like, because
My legacy contact on Facebook, bro. What's going on here?
because for me, like it's something that I actually want to have in place.
You want to have a DNR?
I do want to have a DNR.
About to take out an insurance policy on you, bro.
Cool beans.
You know what I'm
Cool
saying?
beans. I will not allow that to happen. However, and so like if you have that, right? Like I don't. If you have that and then you're an organ donor, it's like, bro, you might be
Just
the
all types of
least
fucked up, bro.
likely.
Yeah.
They ain't touching you.
All
They're not
types.
gonna touch you at all.
They're gonna
Nah.
leave you sitting right there where you
Yeah.
stand, where you lay.
See, I feel like it would, for me, it'd be like, how bad is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the quality of life gonna be if
Right.
you resuscitate me? Am I a vegetable? Am I a paraplegic? Like what? Like where is this gonna take me to?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like if I'm gonna bounce back and be fine, then I mean, yeah, like let's get this CPR popping, let's go. But if it's a situation where they're like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to do nothing but blink.
But I don't even think that would be a choice you'd have to make. I think more next of kin or things of that nature would be in that informed decision making.
Not if you got a DNR.
Well, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like if you don't,
Take that choice right out of people's
they may
hands.
just say, look,
Yeah.
let's not let him suffer. Yeah.
Right.
Or we can't take care of him in the hospital. Only gives you a certain time before something has to happen.
See, that's crazy. I'm single with no kids. Who makes that choice for me?
Yo, mama.
She's 3,000 miles away.
Yo, pappy.
Yo, brother.
Yeah, you leave it up to me, bro.
I'm a dead man.
I'm like, yo,
I'm going.
yo, anybody seen the keys to his BMW?
Facts, yo.
There you go, right now.
Yo, I know he just bought the latest MacBook.
Yo.
That's how I'm making my decision, bro.
Prosperity got that
I
one.
love you. I love you, but you know how they say, bro. You know we joke about it all the time. Sometimes when you have that life insurance policy, you worth more dead than you are alive to some
Yeah.
people.
That's facts, bro.
You gonna take my car and my computer?
Listen, bro. Listen. These are hard. You can't take them with you.
I can try. I'm getting married.
You want a Pharaoh's burial?
Yeah. Get a tune
Take
big
it
enough
all.
to fit all of that.
Take it all.
Take it all with them. Don't worry, bro. I know
Any
exactly.
coffins for 5 series or what?
I know exactly where that grave is, bro. Be out there with a crane and everything.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, yo, I don't know who would make that decision for me. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm saying, bro, listen.
I guess whoever got to make that decision.
Just let me know where the limit. Just let me know where the limit is, bro. Like,
Yeah.
are you cool with coming back, but you can't walk? Like, you gotta like. You know what I mean, like, you cool with coming back and you got to be in a wheelchair and everything.
Yeah, see, that's I don't know.
And this is no slander, no shade. I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a hard decision to make, bro. Like honestly, like if you really sat to think about it, like if I had the choice, you know what I'm saying? Like if you have the choice, you're unconscious, you're comatose or whatever, and somebody say, all right, we bring you back, you're not walking, you can't feed yourself, you can't do this, do that, but we can bring you back, or walk into the light.
Do we believe in miracles?
Miracles?
Yeah, man. Do we believe in miracles?
Nah.
You know what I mean? Doctors say that stuff all the time, man. I don't know if they're ever gonna walk again. I don't know if they're ever gonna be able to do this and do that, and you know.
Yeah.
You see people make full recoveries and everything.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm not trying to play God or anything. I'm just asking, where do you draw the line on it? I know this is a kind of a downer conversation.
Yeah,
so
I don't know, bro. Like, I mean, that's hope springs eternal, I guess, right? You want to remain optimistic and all, but the reality is what the reality is, I guess. I don't know. That's a hard call.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know how to make that call.
Yeah.
So unless somebody had it spelled out in advance, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
I'm really not sure.
So I'm of the mindset of like, listen, man, life is hard enough as is.
Yeah.
I give everything I can to life every single day.
Yeah.
So if it's my time, it's my time. I don't want to be a burden on anybody else, and I definitely don't want to be here under the guise that I'm not able to fully do all the things that I want to do.
Right.
So that's my mindset of it.
Right. That makes sense.
So you got anything else on that?
I'm still trying to figure out who's gonna pull his plug.
Y'all gonna flip for it or something?
I'm like,
what's going on?
We're
thinking like,
gonna
really,
have the Harvey Dent coin.
justice will serve itself.
Tails guys.
Shit, do it again.
Best of the three. Yo, make sure you have his keys first.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm joking, bro. I'm
They
joking.
gonna ransack the crib. Like, nigga, I just had the flu, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
check-
Where's that garden at?
Yo, check his roses.
I didn't even go to sleep no more. Fuck it. 3 a.m. Y'all gonna be figuring out how to divvy up my shit.
Oh man, all
Case of the
right.
house tonight.
Crazy.
Okay, all right. We're off of this. Tax day pass. Everybody good?
Good.
We all straight?
Yup.
Or we want to keep this off? We gonna keep this off the record as well.
Y'all still paying slave tax
Okay.
to this corporation of a country?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was gonna say because
You know what I'm saying?
I'll
Yeah,
listen.
my Jones got filed last week.
All right.
I did mine.
All right. Cool. You know what I mean?
Good to go.
I think we talked about this probably a couple years
Except the
ago.
Farm Earth podcast came up 0. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that.
Yeah, see, so what happened was, man, the account and the numbers.
I
we had
really
to kind of
gotta-
balance balance these things out. You feel me?
I got to look into the legality of this, right? Because every year you hear people talk about, oh, you know, taxation is theft and they can't legally tax you and this and that. But I've never really looked into it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
the little bit of law that I've read and Constitution and all that says, you know, Congress can levy taxes. So once I read that, I was like, I don't know what these people's really talking about. You know what I'm saying? But I guess people still feel that way. So I need to talk to somebody who actually does that. Like I need to talk to somebody who's like, yeah, I make X amount of dollars a year and I refuse to file taxes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the people, not even that we're paying them, it's the fact that people know how, like, the loopholes to get through all of it.
That's what it is.
That's
yeah.
that's where it's at.
That's where it is. It's the loopholes.
Yeah.
It's knowing how to itemize.
Yeah.
You know, knowing how to give just enough
Yeah.
to where
Claiming your losses for the year, claiming
Yeah.
acceptable loss anyway, and then just keeping the rest moving, circulating.
Yeah.
And that's where it's at. It's in the circulation of the tax
I
system.
mean, because
so,
I would imagine that a certain level of taxation could be, in theory, it could be beneficial. However, because I see the wheels turning over here in B. Davis's head. You know what I mean? I hear him clanking, clank, 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 clank. And he's looking like, here this nigga go.
Nah, listen, I agree with you. I think you have to have it for what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that there has to be a certain amount of it, a certain level of it.
Yeah.
But we talked about this before too. When you start having like all these different levels of taxes, you know, like income tax and sales tax and property tax, it's like I'm being taxed so many different times
That's where the problem
Right.
comes.
on the same dollar, man.
It's how much do we tax a dollar?
Right.
Right. So that goes back to the money velocity that we talked about.
Yeah, that
So
conversation,
back and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff, right?
what was the number? It was like 49 cents or 69 cents?
It was
something like
something crazy like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was a lot of money per dollar that was coming out of for taxes and everything, and that's where the issue becomes. And then obviously, how are you going to spend it?
Right.
Right, like the money that you collect, where is it going, and how is it helping me?
Right.
So that's the real problem I think people have. I don't think people are inherently mad at taxes. I think people are mad at how their tax money gets spent. I think we recognize the fact that we have to fund some form of government.
Yeah.
Whether you like the form of government that we have or not, if you want any form of government, it has to be funded. And you probably don't want them competing against private business.
Facts.
So the only way to do that is to fund them by taxation. Right? But how much of a government you want and how you want those funds allocated, that's a whole different conversation.
I think taxes should be based on how well the government handles the situations we hire them for.
I mean, I think that could work. I think it depends on are we talking roads? Are we talking schools? Are we like what type of taxes are we talking?
I mean,
about?
that's-
You know what I'm saying? National monuments.
But those are things that pretty much any state can just be a flat tax across the board. It doesn't have to be higher or lower in any district or, municipal for that matter. But more or less, just like, I'm thinking more or less the tangible things that we vote for. You know what I mean? Whatever party you're voting for anyway, or representing. But it's just, in principle, it's like you're hiring somebody to do a job, right?
No, you're absolutely right, bro. Like I'm not
And then
disagreeing
they're
with what you're
not
saying.
doing the job,
Right.
but then you are still paying the same amount
Right.
to this person
Right.
to do a job that they're failing to do.
Right.
So why am I paying you more at this point? I should be paying less.
It's wild because I feel like the struggle is not so much like, I pay you this amount and you only give me this amount. I feel like the struggle is that money is power, right? So when you want to separate yourself from other groups of people, and you have the means of being able to control your environment like that, you have no problem moving into areas where property taxes are higher. The school districts are better because they bring more money in. It really comes down to that, right? Because what you're talking about is like, let's make it even all across the board,
Well, no, not in a generalization. I'm just saying when it comes to infrastructure, I think that should be across the board. Because each state is going to be, you should hope would be on the same levels of infrastructure. More or less, I'm holding the accountability of the individual vote at this point to what we are looking for our representatives to change that we're hiring them for. For schools for that matter. You know what I mean? Let's just take Mount Laurel versus whatever. Not to say Canada. Let's just say
I was
Canada.
gonna say,
No,
don't say
we're
it.
here, but I mean, it's
Don't
what it is.
say it.
But look, you can see there's a huge disparity between the funding of what kind of schools are in these areas. You know what I mean? And the advancement in some of these classrooms. There's a couple other schools, private schools out in this area, that there's two huge differences in the classrooms. One is so far advanced, and the other one has been around for years, is still using textbooks and things like chalkboards. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Both in Cherry Hill.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So again, it just comes down to what is the appropriation of what we're voting people for. Now again, private schools are in a different sector than obviously, public. But even in that, public schools get more funding because private schools are basically allocated, much like charter schools are.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's a budget for that. But I'm just saying, like, us as the paying or taxed people, I should say, we should have a better sense of holding our representatives accountable.
Right.
That we don't have any power to say. Matter of fact, they control whether they can tax us more or less.
Right.
So I don't see how that's a fair representation of my tax dollar going to work for me.
Yeah, I mean, so that's those are interesting points, right? Number one, I feel like school funding should not be tied into property tax.
I agree,
Plain and
100%,
simple.
100%,
You know
I
what I'm
agree.
saying? Like where we are sitting right now versus the town that is literally about seven minutes
Yeah.
up Haddon Ave. You know what I'm saying? and the difference and the disparity of property tax from this locale to that locale is wild, right? So we should be able to knock that out. But second of all, when you start really talking about the budget, no one really knows. Like most regular citizens have no idea what's in their local budget, their state budget,
absolutely.
and definitely not the federal budget.
Right.
Like these are thousands of pages of documents
Right.
that we are not reading. You know what I'm saying? That we are just definitely
There it is.
Shout out
out.
to the ice cream
yeah,
truck.
man. slash the weed man. You see it's dark outside.
Facts,
You know what I'm
facts.
saying?
It's a way around.
Yeah,
it's a
facts.
workaround.
But that's where we need the transparency. I think that's what you're talking about. But that's tough because when you're in a society, right? When you're in a a city or a town or whatever, you're gonna end up paying for shit you don't want to pay for, right?
Right.
Like that's the give and take of of living how we live. Unfortunately, like I can't opt out of the fire department.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't get to do that. I don't get to say, you know what? I don't go to the library, so I don't want my tax dollars to go to the library because I'm gonna look everything up online. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna download whatever book I want. I can't do that.
It'd be interesting if we actually had the ability to vote where the majority of our tax dollars go to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Kind of like a pie chart. It's like,
Right.
okay, I want 30% to go here, 15% to go here, X, Y, Z.
So that's what lobbyists do.
You would think.
I mean, when you talk about special interests, right? And they'll toss money at candidates that can push for those special interests.
So, Rob, let me ask you this: what is it like in the market, right? I think it's a mutual fund, but I'm not sure. But there's like a group, like you invest in like the fund, and there's like groupings of different stocks or whatever that are part of that fund. What is that called?
The grouping.
You know what I'm talking about?
He's like, this is not cryptocurrency.
It's not cryptocurrency.
No. I'm trying to.
I think it's a mutual fund, but I'm not sure. But or an index fund or something like that. Mutual fund, whatever. But like, I think what you're talking about is like setting your taxes up like that. You know what I'm saying? So basically saying, all right, Group A of tax money will include roads, police station, fire, library, whatever. Group B is going to be schools and public parks
And Group C is strip clubs.
right.
And-
Exactly.
and
that's-
weed dispensaries.
And that is where my money is going. But if you could say, okay, I want the majority of my money to fund these activities,
Yeah.
while recognizing that, there's obviously, Group D, which is
What the hell is
the
it?
main stuff that has to get funded or whatever.
Prosperity. What's the name? Mitchell. It's
Mutual
Mitchell.
funds?
Well, there's another term for it too, isn't there? Because it's a lot. No, it's also something very similar. I'm trying to think, and I'm thinking something else, not mutual fund related. But
ETFs.
Thank you.
Yes, there we go.
ETFs. Thank you.
I think that's really what I was thinking. ETFs. Thank you. See, Mr. Prosperity, man.
Mr. Prosperity.
This guy. But maybe that's the type of setup that we think about going forward for taxes, right? So the money that I'm paying is going to the things that I'm
Right.
interested in, and then depending on what people are interested in is what basically really gets funded.
No, it would
You
make
know what I'm
sense.
saying? Out of those groups. So if nobody wants a library, why are we paying for a library?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not that we should get rid of libraries. I happen to like books and libraries, but I'm just saying, if nobody around wants that specific thing, what are we funding it for?
No, and that's what I'm thinking. I think as a community, we should have the right to say where our money goes to
Yeah.
what we're looking. At least we can say, look, I did not want that.
Right.
I can invest in this.
Right.
I know my dollars being spent how I want it to be spent.
Right, exactly.
Not being controlled based on what their vested interest is that has nothing to do with me.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
I would feel comfortable because you can move anywhere with that same philosophy in any country, or not country, any state for that matter, just knowing that you have the ability to allocate your funds how you want.
Right. Right.
So,
And like I said, that's where it's tough. You know what I'm saying? People paying, like, my property taxes go to paying for schools that I don't have kids in.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, why am I putting my money in there? Well, because I recognize that education for children is important and keeps crime down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? More educated children means less rugrats running these streets doing crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? So that way I'm the only one out here wilding.
The higher the education,
Yeah.
well, I should say, the higher the funding for most educational areas, the lower the police presence.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's what defunding the police means for those who don't know. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, we're switching gears. So we're switching gears, right?
There we go.
There we go.
So the last thing we're talking about tonight. You know what else needs less funding? Are these tandem couples relationship podcasts? that's what needs less funding.
Matter of fact, this defund podcast in general.
defund
Defund
podcast, bro. If this is what's happening in these streets now, this is what we're gonna do with it. Let's just stop doing it, bro.
What is it the fact that it's a couple doing a podcast in general, or is it the content of the podcast? Like, do you feel like they get into way too personal stuff that we don't kind of need to know about?
Yeah, that's the issue.
Like is there group therapy type situation?
Yeah, man, that's what it comes down to.
So
like,
is it couples?
you said it's the couples?
I mean, no, I'm asking, like, what do you think? Because I think I don't want to see couples doing anything.
Well, I don't want to go that far, bro.
No, listen, this is
I don't
why.
want to see couples at the restaurants.
This is what it is. Like, it gives, because a lot of times you'll hear,
Chat.
oh, we're being transparent, we're just being true to who we are, trying to show, people out there that we're like living this lifestyle and all that stuff. But we don't care. You're not us. Like, and a lot of times what happens is people have a false sense of what the other person's supposed to be because someone else is doing it. But that's not your life. You know what I mean? Like, your life is your own. I don't care how many times another couple is going to try and demonstrate their excellence in what you want to be or whatnot. But it's like, that's not me. I don't have the resources that person has. They don't have the resources I have. So what does it matter what they're saying? There's not an advice that, like, for instance, what's the couple we talked about? My man, what was his last name? Jackson. What's his name? We talked about him.
Did we talk about them?
Yeah.
We talking about them on pod?
It wasn't a pod. It was the video. What was it? Oh, what the hell is this?
Am I the only one here that doesn't really have like an issue with relationship podcasts?
Mine is probably just selfish reasons. Like if I'm being completely honest,
Yeah.
like I just hate seeing.
Derek Jackson. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, Derek Jackson. I just hate seeing like people go out bad on camera. Like that's really what it comes
That's
down
always
to.
what happens.
And it's not so much like if you have an uplifting type of podcast and you're talking about how to do things that you enjoy together or whatever,
Right.
like that's not a problem for me. I'm talking about when you start getting into, like you said, be like the more personal stuff about
The oversharing.
your private L's in your relationship
Yeah,
and
yeah.
And it starts going from this really uplifting, positive thing to
the red table talk?
The one time that my wife shot me.
Right.
You're like, listen, bro, like, come on, man.
Right.
Keep that stuff to
Yeah,
yourself.
the oversharing. I don't want to hear that from regular people, even outside of podcast. You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
Like unless we are close enough to where we need to talk about this stuff. Like I don't want to talk about your regular. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's a
Your
couple
issues like
reasons why. There's a couple reasons why I feel like that. I feel like sometimes it makes relationships look bad.
Right.
But then there's always that one partner that comes out kind of having to make all the concessions, and it's evident on camera
Right.
to me, the onlooker, to me, the listener,
Right.
versus the person that's sitting right there that's doing all the selfish stuff that's like got
Right.
this person, jumping through hoops and twisting up like a pretzel and everything. It's
Mm-hmm.
like that's a relationship that's y'all need to handle that in
Right.
private.
Right.
And I get it. Like if you have a listenership or whatever, and you want to put that out there, cool. But just understand that it's going to look crazy at some point.
Right.
It's going to be turned right back in your face.
Right.
And you're gonna have to stand in front of that.
Right.
So I would choose not to do something like that just because
I mean, I'm gonna think like if you're gonna listen to a
it's
relationship,
a little too close for home for me.
Right.
if you're gonna listen to a relationship podcast, then it should be listened to with the other partner, because a lot of times what happens is you get misconstrued false senses of what you want your partner to be without them knowing. So if the two of you are in a situation and you say, hey, look, why don't we listen to a relationship podcast and see where it takes us, kind of thing, that's different because it's a common goal the two of you trying to work towards.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But if you're listening to it itself, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's just say you listen to it and your girl don't know you listen to these things and all you're doing is being fed these things that you're going to interpret that in your own context without her knowing.
Yes.
I mean, that's Twitter.
No,
Right, like that's social media.
But it's
what I'm saying?
dangerous,
That's
though.
logging on and seeing why aren't women submissive anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like that's exactly what that is right there, bro.
I mean,
Like,
but that's what I'm saying. It's a dangerous slope, especially
Yeah.
when you're in an environment of, isolation to listen to a relationship podcast,
Yeah.
not present of your partner.
But I feel like a lot of people do a podcast just for clout, not because they want to have engaging conversation, not because they want to bring something to the table that they think people don't know or educate people somehow,
Right.
or entertain somehow. I think everybody or a lot of people just kind of get in front of a camera and want to start doing the most just for the sake of doing the most. You see what I'm saying? And
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Like that's the point when, to me, it goes too far. So when you start getting into the intricacies of people, because listen, man, everybody's relationship is messy at a certain level. You know what I'm saying? I don't think anybody is out there in a relationship where they're just like, yo, everything is perfect. This is great. We have no problems. You know what I'm saying? We're 100% on board with everything each other does all the time, all day, every day. That doesn't exist. You see what I'm saying? So once you start getting into the messiness and then promoting the messiness for clicks and likes, like that's the point where I think it goes too far and people start looking at you like, yo, this is wild. This is crazy. Why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
And now you've kind of cheapened what's special about your relationship between you and that person.
See, all it took a little last week for me to call this dude hyper independent. And look at him. Look, he's hitting home runs today, bro. He's batting 4 for 4. Look at him, bro.
Look, man, just because you said I'm hyper independent doesn't mean I'm actually hyper independent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just like being by myself all the time.
Yeah. Listening to relationship podcasts.
Right.
Clearly.
Exactly.
Planting your
Exactly.
seeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then you get shit like DJ Envy.
Oh,
Well,
I'm going to head out.
yeah, man.
Exactly what his wife said when he was done.
Facts. Facts. So. No, I understand it, and in a way I understand it. Like Prosperity was saying to us, bro. Obviously, there was a clip in there that was kind of like cut for social media to kind of draw more people to the interview
Right.
that Envy and his wife did for the Shade Room.
Yeah.
But the clip that came out just did it was spicy. It was spicy. It was talking about how she was faking orgasms and stuff like that. So there's a little bit more context to it, but that does really kind of tie into what I'm saying overall.
Exactly. bro.
I was like, listen, I get it. It's you do anything for clout, it's clickbait and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But there's just certain things, like as the saying goes, Batman couldn't get that out of me. You feel
But
me?
like, there's no amount of comfort in either within myself, within my relationship, or whatever that would make me want to get on camera in front of 5 million people and say, yeah, my wife was faking it.
For real.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, why do we need to know that?
We don't
Like
at all.
that's wild.
It is.
You know
the
what I'm
end,
saying?
Finn.
Like
That's
that's
it.
it.
Like that's the end of the statement.
Right.
Like that's wild.
So you couldn't handle your business or whatever. She was faking it, and then you was running around.
Here we
cheating.
go. We're about to get a deep dive and a breakdown. Listen, I don't care
know what
what
I'm saying?
I don't care what the reason was, bro. I just don't want to hear it.
Like-
Like I don't need to hear it. I don't need to know that. The same way I don't need to know that Jada doesn't love Will Smith. The same way I don't need to know any of this stuff, bro.
Now,
Like,
but now I need
But
to
see,
hear,
we all know, and that's the problem.
right, because now I need to hear from the chicks that he was cheating with to find out was it the same situation? You understand what I'm saying? Like, was you just out here embarrassing your wife, just running around, smashing all silly?
Oh, so you want to hear his side of the story?
No, I want to hear their sides of the story. I need the side piece story.
Oh, you need the third part.
Yes, I need
Okay.
all of that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a fan of DJ Envy. I gotta be honest with you. Like, full disclosure. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a fan of. I think he's a cornball. And this interview today.
This is the clip. This is the one. Go ahead.
And the interview today just solidified that for me. Like, I think he's a corny dude. I think he said a lot of corny shit on the radio just because. You know what I mean? That's just what it is.
You got that off your chest?
Yeah, man.
Facts.
I mean, he put this out there, right? Like he did this interview and said this and put this out there. So now, hey, that's whatever, man.
He'll be on Real Housewives next year somewhere.
Yeah, like come on.
Yeah, well, it's out there now. This is the From Earth podcast with the takes of all takes. Not really, but you know what I mean. Okay. I know you felt that way, man.
Is that a wild take? Like, don't a lot of people think he's a corny? Am I the only one who thinks he's a corny dude?
I have never really paid
No,
that
but we
much
talk
attention.
about how men just get on mic or whatever and just start saying some stupid shit, bro. Like they do it
Yeah,
on Twitter
like-
sometimes. You're like, why? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, like that's wild to me, man. Like, listen, social media is all for fun and games and jokes, right? Like, I'm gonna definitely get these jokes off.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna definitely get on here and rile people up and have some fun, but in the name of fun. But
Right.
like, let's keep it 100. I talk to y'all more than I talk to anybody else. How often do I actually talk about my personal life?
Never.
Facts.
Exactly. And me and you are related. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are literally my brother. And I don't talk about stuff like that, bro. Like, it is what it is. I mean, if something important that needs to be discussed, sure. But in general, my day-to-day or what's going on,
Like who's pulling the plug?
right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't understand why you would get up there and start spilling all of this nonsense.
Facts.
Like, you got kids.
Because he saw a lane. This is what I'm saying. Because he saw a lane, like, yo, we can
Yeah.
get this interview off. We can get all of these clicks. Yo, we're gonna say whatever. It's nasty work, man. That's all I'm saying about it. Like,
Yeah, man.
if you're gonna do something, you're gonna sit down with somebody like that. Like, sit down and let it really be about something good. I don't care. I'm not talking about no relationships. I'm done.
So I'm trying to think that Will and Jada just start a whole new genre of just bullshit.
Nah, it's been around. It's been around. Just think about it. It's always been like
It's more prevalent now. We got social media and all these types
But
of
we
things.
were talking.
out
We
there
were
now.
talking about this last week. We were talking about how, the reality TV where it originated and now where it is now. Right, it's, the lane is always there. Now it's just like podcasts are taking off. So now you just bring reality TV to the podcast.
That's it, bro.
That's it. That's
it.
all it is. It's the same. It's the same nonsense that people been doing for the past 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
They just bring it into a new space. So it's not really a new lane. Like I would feel like an actual lane would be to see a startup podcast that came just like from the concrete, and now they're top tier.
Right.
And that's a lane. Like, show me how to do that.
Yeah.
Show me where that reality TV show is. You
Like,
feel me?
I guess my question would be, would you sit your children down and tell them this stuff before you put it on the pot?
That's the thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, would you get, your wife and your kids together and be like, yo, just so y'all know, when we first got together, mommy faked it. A lot. All the time.
Yeah.
And the
feel what
kid
I'm saying?
said,
Like
"We
that-
know."
You know what I'm saying? Like, that'd be a wild conversation to have with your kids, though, right?
Right.
So knowing that you have kids that are social media age, or that can read, or that can listen, or that have phones or whatever, I would like.
I'm just sitting here replaying. I'm thinking about that conversation.
You see what I'm saying?
Yo, yeah, nah.
She faked it
Nah.
all the time.
Sorry.
I was terrible.
That's terrible. All right, man.
Dick game atrocious.
Are you done?
I'm just saying, bro. Like, would you sit your
This
kids
man
down and
has
say that?
17 cappuccinos, and somehow you're the one who's on the Elon Musk underground train joint right now.
That's all I would
You
say
buy
to-
Twitter yet?
To people that would do relationship podcasts. Would you sit your kids down first and have these outlandish conversations in that way?
Wow, you're right. You're right.
And no, Elon did not buy Twitter yet.
Not yet.
Nah,
Come on, Jack, sell it.
Right.
Nah, don't sell it. Don't sell it.
Sell it. What was it 43? What do you offer? 43
Billy.
Yeah.
Pocket change.
That is pocket
40
change.
or whatever.
That's pocket change.
Which crazy how people are like, oh, if Elon buys, it's gonna destroy free speech. I don't think people understand
Oh,
who owns who already owns Twitter.
It is Elon.
I would implore anybody listening to this podcast right now to Google BlackRock and Vanguard. Just Google those two companies and see what they own, and then get back to me about who owns free speech and who owns what's going on in commerce, in the commercial space in this country.
I understand he's serious. He's inside with sunglasses, so he means business.
I'm very serious about that, because once you see where these people invest their money and how much of their money is invested in everything, then you'll understand who owns social media and free speech and all of that kind of stuff.
It's funny too, because I think I read an article and Elon was basically saying, I want to make it more free speech related.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I don't like what you're doing. I'm gonna buy you.
Right.
that's
Facts.
power, bro.
Facts.
That is power right there.
Which, I
Like,
mean, if he could pull it off, listen, more power to him.
listen.
There's always space for a competitor. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? There's always space for the new social media startup, right? I mean, it's social media. It's a wide open world. So
You know what reminds me? I know it's gonna sound crazy, but in context, like the way Elon has his own kind of funding for the most part, his own kind of space program, he literally can say for some aspects he has his own type of infrastructure. If he buys Twitter, he has his own source of news, much like the Russian government runs theirs
oh, absolutely.
to allocate whatever it is their narrative wants to be.
That's a bingo card. You know he was bringing up Russia.
No. I'm just thinking because
you
a lot
know,
of this,
you know it was coming.
it has nothing to do with that, but maybe it is. But no, I'm just saying like that. That's almost too much power for one person to have, to where you can literally just run any narrative you want and have the funding to do it and have a following to believe it.
We're already there, bro. Like that,
I mean,
that's
if he
the
hits
problem.
Dogecoin up again, I'm with it.
I mean, when you look at the size of the group that actually does have the ability to
Yeah.
to manipulate or run news or social media or whatever, it's a very small number of people, right? So it's the equivalent of a person.
But that's channeled through money.
right,
This guy is just going to, I want to say this today. You know what I mean? Like there's no level of access he needs outside of his own will.
right.
There's no checks and balances for him. If, God forbid, not God forbid, but if he does have control of Twitter and that source of a platform, bro, I'm telling you, like that's just going to snowball into something else. I'm certain it's.
Yeah, I don't think it's inherently a terrible idea, right? Looking at the type of the way that Twitter was infiltrated anyway, with dark money, I don't think it's a terrible idea, and because I think there is space for a new competitor, right? There maybe Clubhouse blows up or whatever, maybe Apple decides to get into social media. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe Amazon decides to get into social media of some form. Like who knows? Or maybe it's just some kid with his boys in a room or whatever that just code the next great app. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
And Google will buy it for $17 billion.
well, and they might, and they might, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's the reality of where we are now with social media and the web. Like anybody can compete if they come up with a decent enough idea. Anybody can get some kind of traction. Now, whether you have staying power is a whole different
Listen,
thing.
man, get busy with it, bro, because we need to fund the From Earth podcast one way or another.
Yeah.
So figure that out. That's your homework.
We need you to figure out a way so he can pay us.
That's your homework.
Right. I need to buy Twitter in 2 weeks.
Yes. Yeah. That's your homework. Figure that out. All right. I got nothing else. I think we're done. I think we're kind of up against our mark.
Word.
For the evening. Is there anything pressing? Anything else pressing?
No.
Any shout outs you want to give?
Just shout out to everybody I know who's close to me, friends, family. Appreciate y'all, love y'all. Happy belated Easter. If I haven't spoken to you
Listen,
direct.
positivity from
Positivity.
This guy, man.
You're supposed to be the positive kid.
I'm rubbing off on you.
You are.
He kicked his positivity out the window about a week ago. I recognized the exact moment. I was like, yep. I was like, he's done. He's done.
It's been a tough couple of weeks for me, man.
That ship has sailed.
It's been a tough couple of weeks. Yeah.
But outside of everything you've already given us for the evening, Ben, is there anything else you want to say?
Nah, man. I think I'm good. I would like to. I think next time we come through, we need to talk about that situation with the kid out there in Michigan. that got shot by the police in the back of the head though. So shout out to his family, and I hope they find the peace and justice that they're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. Most certainly. Well, I'm gonna end this with the same thing I always end with for all the listeners and subscribers. Thank you guys. We appreciate you guys. For those who are seeing this for the first time, or who have been watching or listening, but still haven't subscribed yet, or haven't liked yet, or haven't commented yet, I would invite you to do so. Like, subscribe, share the podcast, the From Earth podcast on YouTube, FromEarthPodcast.buzzsprout.com for the website. We're on all the digital streaming platforms. We check in every week, except for next week, because I already said we're not going to be here next week. But no, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And we're going to continue doing what we do, because this is what we do. So I got nothing else. This is Julius from Earth, signing out. Peace.